for giving this opportunity to present STI in Bangladesh. Uh, Good afternoon to you and everyone, all the members who are there currently watching STI. Here, I'll start with what is STI background. Then I'll do a presentation on the passive fire stopping products and where all passive fire stopping products can be used, and what all support, technical support we can give uh, for your STEAM projects. And then we can have a question and answer round. SCA is based out of, as I mentioned, it's a US based company, and we have completed 30 years. Okay, we have completed 30 years of innovation. We have technical staffs to support you for the projects wherever it is required, the EJs, engineering support, whatever is there, we have technical staffs. It's an ISO 9001 certified company. We have almost 40 products backed up with 1300 UL tested systems. Only having a product is not sufficient enough, but the UL tested systems are the most important part in any fire stopping product. And all the products are tested as per the ASTM E814 and UL 1479 standards. These are some of our prestigious products across the globe. You can see most of the prominent projects which we have done across the globe. We are there most of the projects in Middle East and US. SCA is, as I mentioned, it is based out of US. We are the top 2 players in the US and the Middle East. We are one of the top 5 in the world. The head office is based at New Jersey. That's our own office. It's a privately owned organization. And we have got all the products are manufactured in US, and we have distribution points across the globe. We have technical services in the US, Europe, Middle East, and China. Middle East and Europe will support Bangladesh, Sri Lanka, India for all the technical documents whichever is required. We have the most comprehensive and user-friendly website. I'll take you to that website also if we have some time after this presentation. It's very user-friendly. A person can go and register themselves. They can get the UL tested systems, the product, the ISO certifications, the green building certifications. All certifications are available on the website. That's the presence of STI across the globe. If you see, the green ones are the offices and the maroon one are the warehouses to support the particular region. Like we have the manufacturing in the US, but if you look down, we have a warehouse in Dubai, Singapore, and China. So to cater to Bangladesh and other regions in Southeast Asia, we can take the product. Stockings are normally done in Dubai warehouse and Singapore warehouse. Green building standards. Yes, the STA has the green building certification. So if there's a project where you have a particular requirement for the LEED certifications, yes, we have the green building certifications to support you. All our products are with no asbestos, PCP, and it's a water soluble intumescent ingredients. In a project where all STI can support you, it is the MEP. It can be the mechanical, electrical, and plumbing services. You got the data centers, the smoke and acoustical, where only a cold smoke is required. Yes, we have products to support those areas also. The construction joints and the curtain wall. Curtain wall will be an important one because in any given commercial or residential building where there's a curtain wall, the gap between the perimeter and the facade is the most important area where the smoke and the fire travels to the upper floors. So we have almost 130 UL tested systems as per the design of the consultants to support for the project. Okay, here I'm trying to explain you the scenarios where all in a commercial project or residential project where you have a fire barrier to be used. It can be first to your left-hand side is the curtain wall, We have membrane penetrations. So the membrane penetrations are those areas where it's a fire-rated wall and the penetrants are passing just halfway through. We have systems for those membrane penetrations also. Cables penetrations, where you have cables and cable trays passing through the electrical shafts. Joints, floor to floor or wall to wall, head of the wall joints. Normally in every project there is a certain amount of gap which is being provided to in a building to adjust to the environmental or the additions of manpower and furnitures which keeps on adding. So this joint acts as a dynamic joints which will be to support the undulations happening, or in case of fire it'll act as a fire and smoke barrier also. Through penetrations to your walls, concrete walls, block walls, and fire-rated gypsum walls, and head of wall joints. As I mentioned, joints there are different joints like wall to wall, head of a wall, floor to floor joints. So all these joints also has to be catered and done as a fire stopping for these areas also. Key principles of fire stopping, like we have early detection, we have smoke alarm, smoke and fire alarms. Active, we have sprinkler systems, we have firefighting. And the third is the passive and the passive fire protection systems or the containment. So all these are the key important early detection is most important. In case of fire, the fire alarm should buzz in so that the people can be evacuated. We have active suppression systems like the sprinkler systems, firefighting systems, so extinguishing systems. And passive fire systems, wherever there's a through penetrations for a fire-rated wall or a floor, those areas has to be sealed with a equivalent amount of fire-rated systems. What is passive fire stopping systems? Passive fire stopping system is, if you see, I've just tried to explain with a box, like it's a floor and the fire happens. The fire is contained there itself. The reason there is no through penetrations. There is no penetration. There's no hole in that particular wall or floor. So the passive or the fire is suppressed there itself. Passive fire stopping system is used wherever there is a through penetration. It's a fire-rated wall or a floor, and those areas has to be sealed with an equivalent product. But what happens in this scenario? Where the earlier one was there was no penetrations passing through that wall or a floor. Here we have the complete plumbing, electrical, HVAC ducts, cable systems which are passing through the walls and floors, and everything is kept open. Everything is kept open. So what happens in case of fire? The most combustible products are the metallic pipes and the cables and cable trays. Those things, and in case of fire, this is what happens. The fire will travel, it will pass on through each and every walls and floors, and it will damage the complete office or the complete building. And then there'll be loss. The office cannot be optional for say a month or 2 months, depending upon the scenarios, the jurisdictions where you need to prove that the fire has happened and you need to move all your office's items and to a new place and just start up new. What happens if you have sealed the place, all the penetrations with the proper fire stopping systems? So whatever the red part, if you're seeing in this building, the metallic pipe, which has been sealed by endothermic sealant. The cables and cable trays are protected with a fire stopping product. The ducts have been protected with a equal fire stopping product. The plumbing pipes, the most important part in any building, are the plumbings and the electrical cable trays, which has to be sealed with a proper fire stopping systems. Why do we use a fire stopping system? Because one is to have a tension-free sleep. One is that we use fire stopping system so that the office or the residential place is safe enough, or it is because of the code systems, the international building codes, the NBC code, the IEC plumbing code. All these codes states that there should be a fire stopping provided in each scenarios for plumbing, electrical, and other scenarios. These are the references which are given and the IBC 2015. 2 penetrations is required for fire resistant rated floor or wall, 714.3.12. These are the sections which is there. 2 penetrations and resistance for rated floor of ceiling also. Even fire resistance for joint systems and exterior systems, curtain wall, the perimeter area, as I was mentioning, it is there in section 1715.4. So all this is important scenarios in the IBC, where we say that this any through penetrations, any joints, any curtain walls, perimeter area has to be sealed with a equal amount of fire rated system. Containment in the fire systems in a construction, as I mentioned earlier, in a cumulative here, I'm trying to show an individual where you have multiple penetrations passing through the floor or a fire rated gypsum wall. Towards your left hand side is the multiple penetrations where you have all insulated pipes, cables, combustible pipes passing through a wall. So an equal amount of fire rated system, tested system has to be applied on those scenarios. The center one is the combustible pipes. So each pipe, combustible pipes, like a 2-inch pipe, can be sealed with a intumescent sealant. But when it comes to a larger pipe, so 4-inch, 6 and 8-inch, it has to be sealed with a larger collar. The reason, a collar expands much more, say 30 to 40 times of its volume, and a sealant is always, it expands 8 to 10 times of its volume. So example, if you have a 2-inch pipe and it is crossing through a wall or a floor, so for a 2 hours fire rating, it is approximately 13 mm sealant which has been used. So 13 mm into 10 times, so it expands 130 times of its volume to crush the pipe, as there is no fire and smoke traveling to the upper floors. Towards your last right-hand side is the data cables, which is most important part in a data center, wherever there is multiple changes happening in the cables. And every 6 months or odd, you upgrade from Cat 5, Cat 6 or Cat 8, whatever cables you're changing. So every time you change the cables, you need to have the fire sealant guys coming in and changing the sealant. So we have those areas also wherein a fire sealant guy does not have to come, and it can be easily changed by a cable guy themselves. I'll come to that part. We'll have slowly, when we proceed further, we'll see the product data sheets also. I'm sorry. Here for construction joints, as I was mentioning, all the joints towards your left-hand side is head of the wall joints and the construction joints, which are most important parts, wall-to-wall joints. And towards your right-hand side, I've tried to explain on the floor part, the head of the wall, and the gypsum, fire rated gypsum wall also. The pale blue color, what you're seeing is the fire sealant. So it can vary from 10 mm to a 75 mm to 50 mm joints, which is done as per the consultants or the owner's view. So this gaps also has to be equally filled up with fire stopping system. Fire barrier, this is what I'm trying here to explain. The center part picture, what you can see is the facade and the floor. So the gap, there normally gap is between say 50 mm to 100 mm. Sometimes it goes up to 150 mm. So this area has to be sealed with a fire stopping system. So if you see the extreme right-hand side, the floor and the fire facade, there's a gap and there's a pale blue color and the rock wall which has been installed. So this is a complete UL tested system, which can stay up to 2, 3 or 4 hours, depending upon the consultants or the local CFO's approval. How are the fire stop system tested? Yes, we STA, we normally test at UL. The reason being, I'm sorry, there's something, okay. The reason being, it has been, that is a most stringent testing lab. And this is most important because we as a manufacturer, we need to go to this lab and we test those scenarios which are actual plumbing pipe, multiple penetrations, cables, which can be real life scenarios. All these scenarios has to be tested at UL. So UL is apex body which has stringent testing scenarios. And this with the reason, okay, the reason why it has been value of UL is it is well recognized and respected by architects and inspectors. It limits the job delay, like if there are scenarios wherein you have multiple penetrations or two combustible pipes passing at the same opening. So all this has to be tested, and UL has done the testing past so many years. They have all this testing standards at their place. So this helps them to when a fire stopping person submits the document. So it limits the delay, because once the submit list, the site survey has been done, and uh, the submittal has been submitted. So it delays the stoppage of any work. Second, it saves money and keep the project on time. Limit your liability and exposure. Limits and liability or exposure means the first fire stopping guy will ensure that this kind of support he's providing you is as per the site real life scenario or real site conditions. And UL tested systems are works in the real life conditions also. How fire stopping works. The most popular for combustible cables and combustible pipes are the intumescent product. The intumescent products are which expands in case of heat. It should be around 170 to 180 degrees. So once it reaches that temperature, the sealant start expanding. Once it starts expanding, it will crush the pipe or the cable, and it will stop the passage of fire and smoke to the upper floors. So towards your right-hand side, I've tried to explain that a normal sealant which is applied, and when it expands, what is the process it happens. Here, I've tried to explain the collar formula here. Towards your right left-hand side, if you see the collar is installed on a floor, it's always on the bottom because the fire travels from the lower floors to the upper floors. And when it's a wall, it has to be both the sides, because this fire can happen on either side of a wall. So this is the scenario where the fire has happened. The pipe has been tested. The pipe where the fire has happened, it has been, you can see the charred portion. The intumescent product has expanded, the cable has expanded, and it has stopped the fire and smoke traveling upwards. This is the other side where there is no fire which has traveled. So you can see the pipe as it is. Okay, you can see the inside part is completely crushed. So this is the technology of intumescent. The product is crushed and stops the fire and smoke traveling to the other floors or other wall. Current method for wall and floor penetrations, there are two ways of stopping or redoing a product. One is re-enterable and one is a permanent solution. So it depends upon the owners of the building, that whether they want to go for a re-enterable solution or they want to go for a permanent solution. Re-enterable solutions are where you foresee that the cables or the pipes or the cable trays has to be changed or added in coming 6 months or one year down the line. So what you're investing right now, okay, it will remain as it is. Like you have putties, you have pillows, you have plugins, you have sleeves. These are re-enterable solutions. Putties are like the clay, which when the cables are pulled out, the same putty can be has to be changed. The same putty can be reused on the same scenario. It's like a clay, so it will remain as it is. Pillows are stackable ones. If you see towards your right-hand side bottom, the cable tray and the pillows have been installed. So pillows are again a re-enterable solution wherein if cables or cable has to be changed, the cable guy himself can change the cables. He just have to remove a couple of pillows and he can restack it after the work is done. So there's no the fire stopping will remain as it is. No, there's no changes for the fire sealant guy to come and do it. These are the permanent solutions. You have composite sheet, you have mortar, you have intumescent sealants, and you have silicone fire stop sealants. Composite sheets are a thin 2.5 mm GI composite sheets, which are up to 4 hours fire rating. These sheets are used when you have a cable tray and multiple cable tray, and you foresee that cables can be changed or you require additional core cutting has to be done. So this is very thin composite sheet, which can be easily cut with a industrial scissor, the 2.5 mm thick sheet. Mortar are fixed solutions wherein once installed, if you need to do addition or changes, it has to be broken. It has to be damaged and then redone. Intimacy sealant, I've already explained on this part. And silicone sealants are used wherein you need W rating, water rating, water leakage rating. Product selections, as I mentioned, what intumescent sealants are water-based, so it is easy to clean up, easy to use. It has got good adhesion with all the construction materials. Whether it be the metal or the concrete, it has good adhesions with all the construction materials, and it is combustible. Or it means it is good for the combustible penetrants, wherein you have intumescent technology in this product. Here I'm trying to show you some install pictures where you can see towards your left hand side it is a floor, and there are a couple of cables and cable trays which are passing through the floor. So the pale pink in color are the intumescent sealant which is used, and the white part what you're seeing is the cable coating, which is used for reducing the speed in case of fire. The cable coat reduces the speed of the fire. Okay, here you have in the center you have a gypsum fire at a gypsum board, and you can see a conduit, and a single cable is passing through all the scenarios. So again, you can see how it is fire sealed. And towards your right hand side bottom is multiple cable tray which is passing through a wall. So in all these three scenarios, the same product, intumescent product, is used. Mortar, as I mentioned, it is normally used for larger shafts where you have multiple penetrations or metallic penetrations. You have firefighting pipes, metallic ducts which is passing through a floor or a wall. This mortar is used. Now coming to a shelf life, normally all the sealants have a shelf life. The product what we are offering, it doesn't have a shelf life. So suppose your project gets delayed and you have a mortar in your warehouse, so no need to worry, because the mortar doesn't have a shelf life. It can be used after 6 months also. Now, as I mentioned, it is used for a larger opening, and it is used for irregular opening also, because this is a Portland cement, and it can be for a dry, it can be used for dry mix, as well as if you increase the water, it will be a free flow. So it will go all the corners wherever ducts and metallic pipes are there. It will close the gaps between those wall or a floor. Third, this doesn't add weight to the building. It's a lightweight Portland cement. Next point, it is easily identifiable. It is pale pink in color. So it's not like the normal concrete what is seen in the we have in the regular construction. So it is easily identifiable by any fire stopping guy or any MEP guys that here the fire stopping has been done. Okay, here are the installed pictures. So you can see the larger shaft very towards your left hand side, a very big shaft, and hardly any cables and cable trays passing through the floor. So what we have done is we have installed the mortar. A mortar is used, as I mentioned, is used only for metallic pipes and metallic ducts. Now, if you see towards your in the same picture, the walls, the cables and cable trays are passing. So what we have done is we have to use two products here in combination for these scenarios. It's a mortar plus the intumescent sealant. The center one, you can see the bus bar which is passing through the floor. So one single product, the mortar is used because it is a metallic product. So one single product is used. Towards your right hand side top, again, it's a concealed or a metallic cable tray. One single product has been used. The mortar has been used. Now towards your right hand side bottom, these are insulated pipes which are passing through the floor. So one single product mortar cannot be used. So we have used in intumescent sealant. You can see the pale pink in color product around the sleeve. So there is a sleeve installed, and the sealants are installed in between the sleeve and the penetrants. So wherever there are combinations, the combinations are used where you have a metallic pipe or a combustible pipes and cable trays. Compose sheet, I did explain you, it's a 2.5 mm thick, it's an intumescent product. It is used for, again, a re-enterable, or I can say half re-enterable. The reason is it has to be installed, it has to be drilled. Okay, it cannot be, it is not just that you stick it to the wall, you need to drill it, and it can be easily cut. It's very easy to cut with an industrial scissor. It expands almost 15 times, and the fire rating or the UL certification is up to 4 hours. So wherever you have a scenario, a cable or a cable tray which is passing through a wall or a floor, and you feel that there will be an additional cable tray which is coming up in 6 months or 1 year down the line, Compose sheet will be an ideal product to use in a bigger opening. Again, this product doesn't have a shelf life. It can be used as and when required. So mortar and Compose sheet doesn't have a shelf life compared to the sealants. Here you can see the floor, which is a very large opening, and you have multiple cables and cable trays passing through the floor. So here we have a scenario. If suppose after say one year down, 2 year down the line, you just have to do one more cable tray passing through this. So the empty space what you have seen here can be, we can do a core cut, okay, and the cables can be passed through this. And the balance area, the gap between the cable tray and the Compose sheet, can be filled up with a putty or intumescent product. Pillows, as I mentioned, again, it is used where you want to, you feel that there will be an additional cables or cable trays which will be coming up down the line. So once this product is installed, it will remain as it is. Okay, there's no additional services which you have need to do for this scenarios. So in case of fire, this will expand 15 times. One single pillow will expand 15 times, 10 to 15 times of its volume, and it will crush and close the area. Now in this, if you see towards your right hand side top, the three sleeves what has been installed. The one is empty one. So empty one also is fire stopped by using this pillow. Okay, it's a metallic sleeve, and this pillow has been installed here. So a pillow can be used. So after say 6 months or 1 year time, you have one cable passing through. The same pillow can be used over this scenario. It's a re-enterable one, as I mentioned. Again, this product also has no shelf life, so it can be used as and when required. Some install pictures, you can see the metallic, all are mostly metallic pipes, but here these are the cables. So you have a scenario where you have metallic plus the combustible ones. So a pillow works better because this is an intumescent product, and it will expand in case of fire. It's a wall penetration, insulated, as well as metallic pipes. These are the towards your right hand side, you have cable tray which is passing through the wall. So a pillow has been installed. So all three different scenarios where you have metallic pipe and cables, you have insulated pipes and metallic pipes, and you have cable trays. A pillows can be used as per the site requirement, and if there is any additions, you feel that there might come up, so you can use a pillow. Some more install pictures which I've tried to explain here. You can see the cables passing through the wall. Here it's an empty cable tray. So this is a area where you feel after 6 months or 1 year down the line you have cables passing through. So even if there's no cables are there, it will still be a fire stopping product or area in that scenario. Collars, as I explained earlier, just trying to show why it is floor and wall scenarios, and this expands up to, depends upon, we have got multiple strips, wrap strips and collars, which will expand from 32 times to 64 times. Again, this product also doesn't have a shelf life. It can be used as per the site requirement. So these collars are normally used from 4-inch, 8, 6, 12. So depending upon the size, collars are always from a 4-inch onwards. The reason, as the dia of the pipe increases, a sealant will not suffice. It is the collar has more expansion power. That is the reason a collar is used for a 4, 8, and a 10-inch pipe. Here you can see an 8-inch pipe. You can see the amount of wrap strip installed inside this, because that is the amount of intumescent product installed. Reason that much expansion is required to close a 8-inch PVC pipe in case of fire. Okay, here I'm showing you scenarios where you have 4-inch pipe with a sleeve, with a core cut done. And here you have a 4-inch and a 2-inch pipe, but there is no core cut. Now here the difference in this is that when a core cut is done, you can easily install the wrap strip between the floor and the pipe. It can be easily installed, and because in case of fire, this will support, the concrete will support the wrap strip from for closing the pipe with the intumescent. So where you don't have a core cut done, we can install it. We can install the complete wrap strip with this kind of scenario. So a different scenario I've tried to explain, where you have a wrap strip installed for a 4-inch pipe, and a collar is installed for a 2-inch and a 4-inch polypropylene pipe. So it's different scenarios and different makes, but the installation is also different. I have got fire rated cable also. This is used where you have a fire rated gypsum board, and a single cable passing through the fire rated gypsum wall can, make the gypsum board 0 rating, because one single hole can allow, or the smoke or the fire will pass through that in case of single hole. So this product is a fire stopping device where it can be easily installed into the fire rated gypsum board. It comes in 2 dias. One is 25 mm dia and one is 50 mm dia. So these are the 2 products which can be easily, you can change or add the cables if required. This is how it looks after installation. Here we have got one more product which is called EP Power Shield, which is or we call it box inserts also. These products are used, during scenarios where you have gypsum board or a concrete wall also, wherein there are chances that there will be a short circuit in those concealed boxes. So this product will expand almost 24 times of its size or volume to stop the fire and smoke traveling from one conduit box to the other conduit box. So here also it's an easy to install product. You just have to, as per the size, it comes in 2 different sizes, EP44 and EP45. Just have to remove the sticker. There's a sticker behind this. Have to install as it is. You can see it's a very easy install. There's no screwing, nothing doing. You just have to keep it as it is. There's a glue behind this EP44. Just have to stick it to the conduit. That's it. Pros and cons of re-entrable penetrance. Yes, there are scenarios wherein we feel that using a putty or a foam can be beneficial for re-entrable solutions. Here I would say that when a fire stopping guy is not there, the cable guy or someone comes in and he changes the facility team comes in and changes the cables and go. So the application of sealant or the putty has to be proper in accordance to the UL tested systems. So when it says that 13 mm or 16 amount of thickness of sealant or putty has to be installed. So putty, when the cable has been removed from the existing sleeve and or an addition has been done, the putty has to be installed in a proper way. Otherwise, the fire stopping will fail if it is not installed properly. Here, if you can see towards your right hand side bottom, it's not installed properly because it is just kept as it is. The putty has to be installed into between the concrete wall and the cables, because what happens in case of intumescent, it's like a popcorn. It will expand anyway. whichever way it is. So a sealant or a putty has to be installed between the concrete wall and the cable, so that whenever the expansion happens, the concrete will obstruct the expansion going outway, rather than it will the expansion will happen inside, and it will crush the cable or the pipe which is passing through the concrete wall or a floor. This is what happens. You have a sleeve and you have putty installed. The first one is appropriate, it is correct. The second and the third one is very dangerous. The reason, here it is 16 mm of amount of putty is installed. It is correct one for a 2 hours for reading. As the cable increases, the sealant thickness also goes off. Here, this is very dangerous. The cables will burn off within seconds, and the amount of putty applied, this will fail. This will fail. The reason, the putty has to expand is correct for this scenario, the first scenario towards your left hand side. This is a wrong application. So depending on, as the cable size increases, even the sealant also has to be increased. But there is no way the sealant can be, or the putty can be increased here. So what is the ideal way out? We have a product called EZ-Path. EZ-Path is 44 series is a product which is there is no sealant, there is nothing into it. It's just basically cables can be pulled and pushed very easily into that. We call it as a cable pulling device. Reason, if it is 0, 1 or full cable, it acts as a cable pulling plus as a fire stopping device. This is the most important part in data communication. We have sealants, putties, pillows, retrofit device, and cable device. I've already explained the first three part. I'll explain you on the retrofit device and the cable device. This is how a putty will look. In case of normally this is a metallic sleeve, and the cables have been passing through the sleeve, and the putty is installed properly. This is the ideal way. This is the correct one, because if the cables would have been more, then the putty would the application would have failed, because the expansion of putty is 10 to 15 times. But if the amount of cables are more, it will surely fail. There's no UL system which shows that the 100% fill will support with the same amount of putty. So here it's an overfilled scenario. So this is an overfilled scenario where you can see this towards your left hand side. The cables are it's 100% filled up. The sealants just applied for the namesake. We have a retrofit device which is very easy to install, and it can support 100% filled cables, and the cables can be changed at any given point of time. The sleeve will remain as it is. The device has to be just, you can see the right hand side bottom, it is wrap, secure, tighten, that's it. And the cable can be pulled and pushed n number of times. This will remain, the fire stopping device will remain as it is. So this is a retrofit. This can be used for a retrofit device where you have cables with almost 80 to 90% fill up. Okay, what happens? These are the major issues we face and challenges. If you see, there are three different pictures. Okay, how do we do a fire stop here in the fire scenarios? Second, third. Okay, I've tried to explain it here. Okay, if you just go back and see, the cables has, the first one is the motor application. The second one is the easy path where the cables has to be changed multiple times. And the third one is the sleeve with the intumescent sealant around it. So we have to segregate the cables. We have to make it easier for the facility team also. So here, if you see the center one, the easy path, you can easily segregate the cables, pipes, sleeves, whatever it is, and it can be a fire stop system as per the IBC codes. Sorry. Easy path, as I mentioned, it can be for wall, it can be for floor. It can be easily ganged. You can see the cable tray passing through the wall, and these cables can be easily ganged. Now, if you see here, there are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. The cables have been segregated. The last one is kept for the future cable entries. After, say, 1, 2, 3 years, the cables has to be added. So this is an additional provision. So even if it is zero cable, this will act as a fire stopping device in case of such scenarios. We have smoke as well as fire barrier. Now, towards your left-hand side, yes, it's a smoke partition. It's a non-fire rated partition. And towards your the same scenario, you have fire rated wall. So a smoke partition, this device will act as a smoke as well as a cable pulling device. And this will act as a fire as well as a cable pulling device. So here you can see towards your right-hand side, it's a false ceiling, and the NEZ or a smoke cabling is installed. The cables can be pulled and pushed easily through these scenarios and taken to the upper above the false ceilings. It's very easy to install, and it comes in 2 different colors. It can be in blue or white. As of now, we have these 2 colors. Retrofit, I think I already explained, but this I was just trying to explain with 3 different pictures, 3 pictures where you have 3 different sleeves with 100% cables. So how easily it is installed, and the fire stopping is it's the correct one. So no additional fire stopping required in this. In other scenarios, you have the sealants and other things, putties to be installed. Here, you don't have any additional product to be installed. This itself will act as a cable pulling device as well as a fire stopping device. Just trying to explain with more pictures where how the cables are neatly pulled from the wall to the cable tray. Here, it's a fire rated gypsum wall, and it's easily pulled. As I mentioned, one is kept empty for future provision. Different scenarios. Easily gangable also. As I mentioned, it can be, easily, you can see metallic pipe passing through this and cables passing through. So it can act as, whatever is the dia of the pipe, there are certain dias. So we have a limitation to that also. We'll explain whenever required. So this is all future and present one also. Data center scenarios. Earlier, we used to have cables passing below the raised flooring. So this is the scenario where cables are passing through the raised flooring, below the raised flooring. Here you can see a combination of composite sheet and a cable tray. So in case after, say, 1 or 2 years, you want to add one more cable tray. So this part can be easily cut with a machine, and the same cable tray and easy path can be passed through this without removing all the scenarios. So this can act, the combination also act as a re-entrable solution. More pictures, just I'm trying to explain scenarios where this is an additional, you don't buy the easy path, but you have this device where you just have to install the easy path later on. It can be done that way also. Okay, how does the fire stopping works? Like when this is the easy path, these are the 2 intermittent pads which have been installed. So in case of fire, this product expands, and it expands almost 200 times of its size to stop the fire and smoke traveling to the other part of the wall or floor. These are the test scenarios where we have done some tests. These are the exposed side, and this is the unexposed side. You can see the difference. You can see 1, 2, 3, 4. You have 1 cable, you have a 0 cable here, and you can see the difference. The fire has not traveled to this part. You can see that this is completely burnt, completely damaged. Scenario here, the single EZ path is completely exposed, and this is the non-exposed side. This is the most reliable and efficient product what we have. The reason it acts as a cable pulling device, and for changing cables you don't need to use a sealant or a putty for any of this product. So it just what you're investing right now will be on a Z path, and in the future what you will be investing will be on the cables. You just invest on the cables, the fire stopping will remain as it is. So today you invest on an EZ path $100 for fire stopping. So after 4 years, also it will be $100, because the amount of money you will be investing in a sealant when you call us to redo the product, the value goes on increasing, the labor goes increasing. So with this product, it will remain as it is. So whatever amount of profits you are earning, you will So how does a UL tested system define? So there are 3 different scenarios where I have tried to explain UL tested system. This is the first one. Towards your left hand side is a combustible pipe passing through a concrete wall or a floor. The second one is a fire rated gypsum board, and it's an insulated pipe. And the third one is joints. So all these scenarios, this is how a UL tested system, you can directly go to UL directly also and have a check on this part also. So what does a UL tested system defines? One is the F rating, fire rating, which is normally, defines the 1, 2, or 3, 3 hours of fire rating. T rating, temperature rating is normally used for the floor where you have metallic pipes passing through the floor. And there are combustible products which are kept above the floors. Normally this happens in certain scenarios where the shafts are being closed, and there are some papers or cardboards or thermocol which are kept in the shafts. So what happens in case of fire is that the fire will not travel, because the fire stopping device system is installed. But what happens is, being a metallic product, there will be certain amount of temperature which will pass from the lower floor to the upper floors. So if you have kept any combustible products on the upper floors, this product will tend to catch fire because of heat transfer, and there are chances that the upper floor where there is no, even though the fire stopping is done, is tend to catch fire. Leakage rating is used wherever there's certain amount of air leakages are there. There are certain requirements by the consultants where you want to define on the leakage rating. Yes, we have such kind of certifications where L rating is also defined in those scenarios. And W rating is the water leakage rating. We don't give anything on the waterproofing, but this leakage rating for 72 hours. Mostly we use silicone sealant on these scenarios where you have certain amount of water, leakages. Maybe it's a plumbing or firefighting pipe, and you feel that there will be water leakage tendencies. So this product, silicone sealant, will act as a fire as well as a W rating, but it will not be a waterproofing product. It will be a fire water resistant up to certain hours, say 72 hours. That's it, as per the NFPA 75 standards. System search, yes, we will. I'll take you through this once we finish. I'm almost close to finishing off my presentation. I'll take you through that also. Yeah, I'm giving a closer look on the system search. Like, what is the system number? WL3132 is the system number, and what is the fire rating? It is 1 and 2 hours. Now, the highlighted part, it is a wall assembly. It's a fire rated gypsum board. Okay, what is the maximum diameter? What is passing through this is a cable tray which is passing through the fire rated gypsum wall. Now you can see the cables. What are the dia of the cables is also mentioned in this UL tested system. And what is the maximum diameter size of the opening is also mentioned in this system. Now, description of penetration, as I mentioned, what is the penetrant which is passing through this is also mentioned in this UL tested system. The most important part is the last one. What is the infill material? So here it is, what is it? It is a minimum 1 inch thickness. of what? It is the putty. So this is the most important part. Any installer or any MEP consultant should look into this, because end of the day, it doesn't matter which product you are buying, but if you have a UL tested system to support your project, your 99% of your problems is solved. Because if someone comes and asks you that what is the amount of, what is the backing material to be used, you don't have a say. Here it's very clearly mentioned, the backing, there is no backing material. It's just seal it, that the putty has to be installed directly. But there are scenarios where you have a backing material which has to be 64 kg density rock wool, and then a certain amount of sealant thickness. So this is the most important part, or document which should be asked by any consultant, any installer, to safeguard their building. Even the owners, I would request, they should take up a stand to check on the submittals, what they get it from the any of these installers, so that they can compare what standards has been used, whether the complete building has been defined for UL, and whether all certifications are given for each and every scenarios. So this is the most important part in any which any fire stopping guy should be giving it to the consultants and contractors. Before I get into a question answer, I would like to share some videos. Masood Bhai, can I share some videos to the team?
Yes, you can, but there is, at first you take the question, then you run the video if you have a time. Pradeep?
Yeah.
Yes. I think Imran Bhai raised his hand. Imran Bhai, can you ask your question?
Okay, thank you so much. So thank you, especially the nice presentation regarding the fire sealant, passive fire protection system. So my question is like that. So basically we are using 3M and Hilti product in this purpose. So my question is like that. So specifically the steel structure. So do you have any product, the steel structure passive fire protection system?
No, sir. We don't have any product for steel structures.
Okay. So you have any foam base in product for this?
No. For if you're asking me for steel structure, no. I don't have.
I'm not asking steel structure. And second question is, do you have any foam type fire stop system?
Okay, foam type. There are two ways. If I take it, one is a product which expands in case of heat. Okay. These are used for intermittent area. So mine, I have LCI intermittent sealant, which will expand in case of fire. But I don't have a foam type product which will expand. Like it's a can type, and you can spray, and that will expand. No, I don't have that product.
Oh, thank you. I have the two questions. Is okay. Thank you.
Okay.
So, anyone have any more questions? You can ask. Okay, in Q&A. Yeah, Ismat Naj, ask a question. This one I will give the answer later because this is not relevant to this session. So I will give the answer later.